Hey there and welcome to the Mike Gunner podcast. Today we're chatting with my good friend and local radio DJ, host and legend, Bella Frizza. The Frizz coming right up. So welcome back. And yeah, it's Bella Frizza, the Frizz. Frizz, how are you?
Good, Mike. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So, you know what? Andy and I were so excited to have you here. You excited to be here?
Yes, I'm very excited. Yeah, we're going to have good chats.
Excellent. And I understand that you are a Sydney girl originally, but you're living in the Gold Coast. Do you love the Goldie?
Yes, I love the Gold Coast. Like, look, I love Sydney. It's always going to be home. I've got my family there. But the Gold Coast is so good. Like, it's the best of both worlds. It's city life. It's, lifestyle. Like, the people here are so lovely. I don't know. Guys can be a bit housey father sometimes, but being single. But no, like, it's just an amazing place to live and to be doing what I love here is really cool.
If you weren't living in the Goldie, where else would you live if you had your choice in Australia?
I think we'll definitely probably be back in Sydney. Like, I'm from the Northern Beaches. So I think it would be somewhere there or, yeah, trying to just, make a life around that area.
Yeah. What about Melbourne? You like Melbourne?
To be honest, I think I've been there like once.
Really?
Yeah. My best cousin, like she's like my best friend. She's my cousin. But so she's there and I've only been there like once to visit her. So, yeah,
Okay.
I just don't know. It's too cold, I think.
Yeah, it does get a bit cold in the winter, but I love Melbourne personally, but it's a lot different to Sydney as well. It's got a different dynamic and vibe altogether. But do you think if you spend a bit more time down there, you might be able to? Or?
Maybe. I don't want to discriminate against anyone from Melbourne. But yeah, I think it is an amazing city. There's always something going on. But just the chill factor.
Yeah.
Like now I've lived on the Gold Coast for so long, I'm spoiled.
Yeah, we're climatised up here now, well,
yeah.
truly.
If it's like if it's like 12 degrees, I'm like, oh my God, it's freezing.
I've always said that Brisbane is like Melbourne, a little Melbourne with better weather. Do you spend much time in Brisbane?
Actually, yeah, I did live there for about a year before living on the Gold Coast.
How'd you go with that?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was cool. I would definitely live there again.
Okay. Yeah, I was only there about a week ago and I was driving around and I thought, you know what, I could live here. It's very pretty with the river going through it.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
big
Yeah.
fan of that joint.
And not too big, not too small.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, pretty well. Hey, and do you spend much time at the beach? I mean, here we are on the Goldie. A lot of people live on the Gold Coast and they very rarely get to the beach. What's that about?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I'm always at the beach. Like I've got my little puppy Choo Choo. He loves the beach. Yeah, I mean, look, it's getting colder now, but definitely like go for a run, get down there, sunbake. Like you kind of have to live on the Gold Coast, you know?
Well, you do. There's endless things to do here, and I'm always talking it up. People must think I work for Gold Coast Tourism, but I actually don't. I just love it.
Don't you?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? And you mentioned your little dog, Choo Choo. And by the way, fun fact, Choo Choo, your dog, is on my Instagram profile picture.
Yes.
That he really made an impression on me. And what is your little...
He's a toy poodle cross Shih Tzu.
Oh
yeah.
my God, a shit poo.
No, he is a shoodle, okay?
A shoodle?
Excuse me. I love these names where you conjoin two animal, variety names like a cavoodle, a shoodle.
I think I may have made that up, but
I think you did. I like shit poo.
It works though. It definitely works.
Now, you're a radio girl. Talk to us. So, how long have you been in radio?
8-ish years.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea what you might have said to that. 8 years. And I guess you love it.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I think once you get into radio, you can't not be in it. There's just this thing you get it's just this feeling, I can't even explain it. And it sounds almost narcissistic, but it's this feeling you get when you're on air and like you do this amazing break and it all works out the way you've planned it and you nail it. And it's just this feeling that you're like, oh my God, just this feeling of accomplishment and yeah, it's just something that I'm quite addicted to.
Yeah, there's something very satisfying about a job well done. No doubt you feel that in radio at times as well. Have you ever had any major screw ups? Have you ever got it wrong?
Yes, many times. Like
Tell us about that.
every day. Oh God, just probably like I was on air the other day with my friend Scotty, who he takes over after me, and we do like a bit of a crossover break. And I was a little bit exhausted, and it was the end of like kind of my shift, and he came on and we were just chatting, and he said something to me, and I was like, yeah, I don't care. And I was like, did I just say that on air? Like, what? Sometimes I forget that I'm live, and I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, and I'm just like, oh my God, did I just say that? And sometimes you plan something, and when you're doing it live, it comes out completely differently to what you planned it as. So that's just kind of the thing with it. You've just kind of got to go with it. You know, sometimes I can get like real hard on myself because I'm like, oh my God, that's not what I planned it to be.
Yeah.
But you just got to go with it.
Do you think the listeners pick up on that, or is that just you being hard on yourself?
I would like to think it's just me being hard on myself. But yeah, I don't know. I think to the naked ear, someone would just, and I think, you know, with radio, people are kind of half listening. They're not listening intently like my boss listens to me.
Yeah.
You know, people just kind of have it on in the background, which is cool.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. Yeah, that's right what you're saying there. I think a lot of people, you just sort of, you're not really concentrating on that, are you? And it just sort of, it happens so quickly that you can't really pick up, like the naked ear can't pick that up, if you know what I mean. Because we've said a few things here and we're like, oh, like we look at each other and go, oh, don't know about that. And then we listen back and it's like, oh, we don't even notice it.
You're your biggest critic.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. How spicy can you get on radio? I mean, no doubt you try not to swear. There's no swearing.
No, there's absolutely not.
Yeah. You ever let one out accidentally?
No. It's so weird, Mike, because it's this thing like when you're in the studio, it's like this unknown written law as a radio announcer. You never swear in the studio, but it's more like even you never swear when the mics are on. Like when the mics are on, you never swear. And I always make sure if I'm like having a conversation with someone in the studio, which isn't often, boss, if you're listening, I just pull all of the mics down just in case like something is accidentally on or up or because you wouldn't want something going to air that you know that shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess, you know, in your 8 years to be able to... Does that mean you don't swear in general outside? Because, you know, are you in this headspace? Do you swear in general, by the way?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I'm like, I actually need to like check myself because even like sometimes to my mum, I'm like, oh, whatever that word is.
Yeah.
Can I swear on this podcast?
Sure.
Yeah. Go for it.
Sometimes like, oh, fuck that or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, Belle? And I'm like, what? I'm just like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I just am like a casual kind of person that doesn't really... I don't know. I don't really think a lot of the time before I speak.
Do you know what's interesting? I never swear in front of my mum. My mum and dad never swore in front of me growing up, ever.
Really?
I could count on one hand the number of times my dad said the F word and my mother has never said it.
Really?
Never.
Oh, I love your parents so. They're so lovely.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Not that I've met them, but like I just feel like I know them from that one episode on Maths.
Yeah, they were up here a couple of weeks ago. I've been trying to convince them to move up.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like them to come up. I've got no family up here, apart from you, Bella.
Oh.
But it's nice to have even a sister would be good because I got a couple of sisters down in Sydney, and just that ability to be able to have a really family to. Look, fine, we can jump on the phone and everything, but to have them, sat in front of you and have a cup of tea and that, I do miss that.
I completely agree. I went yesterday to do voting, to pre-vote.
Okay.
Ooh.
And you know how you've got to go into the electorate and like give your name and stuff. And she was like, oh, Frizza, you're the only one. And I was like, yeah. And I walked out and I was like, oh, my family's not here. None of my family's here. And it just made me think like that exact thing what you just said. Like, oh my God, like none of my family live here. I forget what it feels like to have family in the same state.
Yeah. Well, where is the closest family member to you?
Well, my mum lives in Noosa. So she's just...
Oh, it's not too bad.
Road. But she's just moved there recently. My sister has been travelling around in a bus with her baby and
seriously
boyfriend.
Really?
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Her and I are complete opposites, hey. It's crazy. And then my brother and dad are in Sydney. So, yeah, everyone's kind of spread out.
Yeah, there you go. Your sister's in a bus.
Yeah.
How is she? Younger, older sister?
She's younger. She's like, God, she's going to kill me for this, but I think she's like 25, 26.
Okay.
And she's got a 1-year-old, and her and her boyfriend are like full vegan, simple living, just like making the most of every day. And they just wanted to live in this bus, so they bought a bus, did it up, and they've been traveling for like the last 6 months, and they've just gone back to my mum's house now to kind of take a break from it.
Yeah.
So I think fingers crossed, she's going to have another baby soon.
So you're an auntie?
Yeah.
Ah, no kids yourself?
No.
One day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you kind of have to have a boyfriend to be doing that kind of thing.
How's your love life?
It's non-existent at the moment.
Oh, don't give me that.
It is.
You haven't been on any dates?
Nah.
Really? Okay.
Oh, maybe one here or there, but yeah, nothing to really like, nothing that's
nothing to write home about.
Would be calling mum or dad about it.
No, unfortunately. Look, I'm open to it. I totally am. I mean, I think when, like, obviously going on maths with, you kind of like go on it to find someone. Yeah. Like, I don't know what your reasons were for going on it. Obviously it was to find someone.
Yeah, to find love. Absolutely.
Because it's hard, like, in this day and age to really find someone who's legit. And I thought giving it a different go would be, an idea. But that was like 3 years ago now, and here I am. I mean, I've like had a boyfriend since then and stuff. But
how long did you see that guy after the show finished?
My husband.
Yes, your husband.
Ex-husband. Yeah. We were together probably 2 to 3 days after filming.
Really? Is that right? Oh, about the same as me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so insane, isn't it? Because like,
did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. Look, my experience was so different to what you guys have to do these days. Like, I was still working. Like, I was working full time, finishing at 5, going home, filming till midnight, 1 a.m., and then getting up and doing it again at like 6 a.m. So, I mean, yeah, that like you hardly get any sleep as it is, but having to do a life plus do this other life, which you can't really talk about at the time.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really talk about it much on this show, this little podcast, but I will say this, ours was more immersive, of course. We didn't have to work. We were essentially taken care of from the day we started to the day it finished. And I get asked this a lot. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought they made it really easy and comfortable. We wanted for nothing, and I mean, I had a ball with it. And I think people ask me like as if I'm going to say, nah, it was horrible. But I never do because I loved it. And I think everyone else that went on the show loved it as well.
Yeah.
I think they're casting at the moment for next season. And, I always wonder because it's scandalous as well. But that's the decision of the participants, whether or not they want to be scandalous. I mean, you can be completely, take it seriously and be sincere about the way you feel and the way you treat your partner, or you can go and cheat and do your thing. I mean, that reflects life anyway. But no one's telling you what to do. That's all their own decisions.
Thing, yeah. And I just feel like, look, it's were you season 6?
6, yeah.
We're 6 seasons in now. You got to know what's going on when you're applying for this thing.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be rainbows, sunshine, and unicorns.
Well,
it's going to be what it's going to be. And they're making a TV show, and everyone's got their opinions about the last 2 seasons in particular. Mm-hmm. But they're making a TV show. It's entertaining, and everyone's bloody talking about it, and people overseas are talking about it. Yeah. And so they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Well,
it's such a massive thing because I think weren't you saying that there was a few people that went on the show this season, just past, that hadn't seen the show?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was on radio chatting about that Gold FM up here, actually. Oh. That Luke Bradham, he's a nice bloke. What do you think of him?
Yeah, he's lovely.
Yeah,
I love Lukey.
Yeah, he and I, I've only really met him a couple of times, but...
bit of a bromance?
Yeah, a bit of a bromance.
Yeah.
I like his style on radio, and Margot, she's cool as well.
Yes.
They've got a good energy between them.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, we chatted the other day, and they said, I don't know whether or not they asked me or I just made the point that a few people of the participants this year in season 6, they didn't actually see the show before they went on it. They just kind of, they'd heard about it, wanted to get married, applied, and then they were thrust into it. And I remember chatting with Dan, actually, was one of them, and I said, buddy, what, you don't know what to expect? And he's like, no, I just wanted to do this, and here I am. And I thought, that's far out. Okay, I think I gave him some advice, like, just, hey, be on your best behavior because everyone's going to see this, and that was about it.
That's the thing. I mean, you're putting yourself out there in such a huge way. Your feelings, emotions, like they follow you around everywhere, don't they? I guess. So you can't hide from anything anywhere.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, you're obviously still in the public eye. People know who you are. We talked a little bit about, before we started chatting just now, the trolling. Do you ever get any trolling?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's completely unnecessary, obviously. I just think sometimes people don't really understand or think that there's actually a real person behind a profile.
Yeah.
It's just like I've gotten a few things, and I thought that after my season of maths ended, it would end, and I'd fade off into the background, and they'd go on to the next person who was in the spotlight. But from time to time, I post a picture or something, and it gets a bit of backlash. And when I say backlash, I mean like maybe I'm wearing a weird top or something, and like they might comment on the way that my boobs are, or what, like it's full on personal stuff.
Yeah.
That really gets you. You think to yourself, oh, Bella, oh my God, it's one comment. Like, no, it's one comment. It's the one comment that can ruin your day. It's the one comment that can make you feel bad about yourself. I mean, in this society that we're living with social media, as good and amazing as it is, and I love it, there's also this side of it that is not amazing.
Yeah.
And it rips into people, and it's not okay. And people are making fake accounts to troll people. I just don't know who would have the time for that. Like we all think bitchy comment. Like I watch reality TV, and in my head, I'm like, oh, as therefore, I bitch about it in my head, but I would never go to my phone and physically type a message to someone. Like I just couldn't do it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, and you talk about those negative comments that ruin your day. I was chatting with another guy who was on TV and on another show, and he said, Mike, he said, you'll read 100 comments and they're all complimentary.
Yeah.
He said, but there's that one comment that's negative and it finds its way under your skin, and that's the one you focus on. And I remember thinking, this was early on for me, and I thought, oh, that's a bit weird, And then it was right. As I'm scrolling through, and there was some nice complimentary stuff. The first one I came to, that I focused on it, and then I wanted to know who was it that wrote that to me, and why would they write that? And I think I responded. Not responding is the way to go, really.
Yeah.
Unless you're clever. Sometimes I feel like I want to respond just because it does fire me up, and I think, oh, I've got to say something, and it feels like it's the only way to.
But it fires them up more, Mike.
Well, it does.
You know what I mean? Like,
I love a reaction, don't they?
The thing that I love is that if you get a comment, I don't know if I don't love anything about trolling, but it's quite interesting when there is one comment, say on a post, that someone's trolling you, and then your other followers will see it and they'll start going at that person.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that's when you just sit back and you go, I don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not condoning trolling, but these people, like,
they'll take care of it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. In fact, I've noticed that as well. But, and you feel like you're being protected by, people who actually care about you and that feel like they, know you. And I like that. But, it's funny. It's fascinating, Facebook and Instagram. You see something you've posted, and then someone writes a comment, and there's a whole thread, a huge thread of comments and sub-comments and comments off comments. And you read through and you think, I started this with just a little thing I said, a little short video or a picture.
Yeah.
It's really quite a fascinating little world, that world of social media. But, it also has that dark side as well. I don't know. Yeah. Part of me wants to think, people have a right to express an opinion, but, do it with some decorum, be a bit sensitive.
I feel like it's never going to change. I think that we just need to, and this goes out to anyone who has been trolled or is going to be trolled or is going on reality TV in the future, it's always going to be there, and you need to just take the good with the bad. Like, you've got a lot of amazing comments and followers and, you know, like people who support you. So just try and focus on that as opposed to the other side.
It's easier said than done though, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I remember early on, you know, the advice I was given, and it seemed, you know, fairly rudimentary, like obvious, but to actually follow it was harder. It was easier said than done. And I don't know, I'd like to think, you know, because I think all people are sensitive in general. You know, you say you're not, but we're all
human.
We're all human, and we all have, you know, that sensitive side, and it doesn't take much to expose it sometimes and find that raw nerve. But hey, guess what? We got some questions in general.
Questions.
Yeah. And by the way, we were talking about social media a minute ago. You know, when you've got a fairly sizey social media following, you get a lot of offers. Okay, now this is something I wanted to explain, and I've been meaning to bring this up. You get a lot of offers for bits and pieces. People want to send you stuff. People want to take you places, whatever it might be, and they want you to promote it for them. And I've had heaps of offers. And in some cases, I'm like, yeah, okay, I need a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
I'd love that pair of shoes. Who wouldn't want that stuff?
Exactly.
But then what I find is when, you know, you need to post it on, and then suddenly your Instagram becomes an advertising site, right?
Yeah.
And I think your followers are just like, oh, here we go. He's, you know, got some new thing happening.
But I think they also get it. You know,
do you think they get it?
I think so. Yeah, I just think it's the world we live in, and even myself, who same as you, I get some stuff which I'm so grateful for.
Okay.
But also, like, I look when people I follow have stuff. I'm like, oh my God, where's that from? I need it, and I literally go and buy it. So it works.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that really works, and it's a priceless tool these days. I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I guess. Yeah, influence marketing is, isn't it? It's huge. And what is the best thing that you've ever received then?
I'm so grateful for, like, I get Botox and fillers like in my lip.
Oh yeah.
Shout outs to HC Medical.
Oh God, really? Here we go.
But I love her, and I just feel so grateful because, you know, I get access to these things I never would have before. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. It's well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously since Mike's been on the show, he's as you just mentioned then. So, but the thing we found is the amount of incredible people that you actually meet. Like you were just saying then, that the people are just lovely, and it opens doors. And I think that's kind of a cool aspect to it as well. Yeah. In a way. So all the little local businesses around here. It's amazing people. Everyone's got a story, and it's it's great to have a chat to them. Yeah.
And there's so many lovely, amazing people that you just meet out of it. And then like I've made heaps of friends like from it. It's awesome.
You know, that brings me to a question. Well, someone said, and I can ask you this. I can't really speak to it, unfortunately, but it says, do you keep in touch with anyone from MAFS? And if so, who?
From my season?
Yeah, from your season.
Yeah, so so my ex-husband, we never were actually married, okay? So we just like communicate.
What was his name?
Michael.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Must be a nice bloke.
Yeah, he was lovely. Yeah. So he lives in Brisbane now. And we just communicate on Insta like every now and again. Okay.
Did he move on with another lady or something like that?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he was seeing someone when the show went to air, as I was. But I think some magazines got hold of it or something. But we had to all keep it pretty hush hush. Yep. And then I think he's still kind of looking for someone.
Okay.
That's cool that you still stay in contact though.
Yeah,
it's such a wild experience, that one, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, and it's just something that you have this in common with this person, and it's, you know, a lot of times past now. And yeah, it's just something that we experienced together, you know. And another friend who's like one of my best friends, Nicole. Mm-hmm. From season 3, she was on it with me. She's a teacher who lives here on the Gold Coast, and she's an amazing friend. So
good.
Really grateful I met her.
Yeah, I suppose as well it depends on I'm good friends with, say, Mark from my season.
Yes.
Mark and Ning.
Yes.
And also Nick. He's from Newcastle. It's a shame they don't live closer because I'd hang out with them all the time. Yeah. Mick, of course, but he's up in Gympie, and you know, it's a bit far to just jump in your car 3 hours and go and say g'day. He has come down here, mind you, and we've hung out a little bit in the past.
Jess is in Brisbane, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Do you know what? I'm mates with her.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
I thought you were.
I am.
That's what I was saying.
And look, you know what, bugger? I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
Look, and I will speak to her. She's all right. She's all right. And I can understand why people might, you know, every story needs a villain. And I think for a moment there I was a villain too. And maybe to some people's I still am. But that's a young girl. A young girl in her 20s. She's a beautiful girl. She's full of confidence. And look, you make mistakes as a young person. And, you know, if you had a camera on anyone for 3 months.
Yes.
I can't remember who it was that said, you know, if you follow anyone in their car, if a policeman follows anyone in their car for 500 miles, they're always going to get a ticket. We all do the wrong thing from time to time. I think people view it through a lens of perfection, and anything that doesn't, you know, measure up to that, suddenly that person is completely in the wrong. Come on, let's be fair. And in Jess's case, she's a young girl, might have made a few mistakes, but that's all it is. Doesn't make her a bad person. So yeah, I don't hold any grudges against any of those of the cast members.
Yeah, look, it was what it was. It was great TV to watch.
Yeah,
and also I think from the point of view you saying as well about a camera being in front of someone, I don't think people understand as well. People that are watching, like if you think about yourself. If you've got a camera on you, you're playing up to the camera. If there's alcohol involved, you just don't understand what people do when there's alcohol involved and there's a camera involved, and they know there's a camera there, so they're going to do, you know what I mean? Like,
it's all amplified. It's life amplified, and people love that. Yeah. You know, that's why it rates so well. I mean, that thing topped the ratings every episode.
Yeah, it's insane. People aren't even really watching TV anymore because they've got their phones. Like, it was getting over 2 million people a night. So that's incredible. Yeah.
Goodness me. They all saw me cry.
When was that? Oh, yeah, that's right. The last one, yeah.
Which time? No kidding. Okay, now I did allude to Instagram advertising. Oh, and I want to give away a pair of sunglasses because I did throw it out there on Instagram saying, hey, whoever sends me a good question. This one was a good one. How do you deal with having your every move in private life scrutinized by the public, and would you trade your newfound fame for your privacy back? Oh boy, that is a good question. Before I answer, I'm actually going to tell this person, Mercedes Zeverest. We're going to give her a pair of sunglasses, and I'm actually going to have Bella choose them. We have 3 pair here.
Okay.
Now this is obviously a girl, so there's 2 girl pairs. Do you want to try these on? Which ones do you reckon Mercedes would want? These are brand new, by the way. We've got a box for them and everything.
Mercedes, I think. Oh, I'll take my headphones off.
I might have a look at it. We'll see what kind of. She looks fun. She's fun. I think she's got a baby. If you were a fun lady with a baby, I think she'd want.
I think these.
These ones?
These Mercedes, definitely. Yeah.
These, okay, so I do have to give a shout out. And by the way, Shakira owns the company that, or is part of the company.
Shakira.
Yeah, exactly. She owns the sunglasses company. So they are cool. A singer owns a company, Kuipers they're called. Okay, so there you go, a little shout out for them.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you why I advertised with this company, because the guy was really nice about it when he messaged me, and I liked his style, and he was just very humble, and he said, hey, look, if you could give a little shout out to my company. And I thought, you know what? That's not a bad thing. He's trying to bring a cool brand into the country, and I applaud that. So Mark is his name. Yeah, good job, man. We're going to give this away. I do have another pair for a girl. So we're going to give another pair away. And we never got to her question, by the way. Let me.
Back to the question.
Would you? You were famous before you. Were you famous before you did maths?
I wouldn't say famous, but I was working in radio before.
Okay. Would you call that fame? Is there some element of fame to that?
I don't know. I just never really thought being on the radio was like it's just my job to talk on the radio. I don't know. I guess.
Did people notice you and ask for selfies as you walked down the street?
No. Okay. Like being on maths definitely got.
So it made you famous.
Well, it just made people notice me, I guess. I don't know.
Would you want your anonymity back?
I think it's so hard, like just with social media, I need to be more diligent in the fact of like I get in my bedroom and I'm posting things from my bedroom and stuff like that, and I'm actually this week I decided I'm going to be a lot more private in the way of I need like a private life and like a life that, you know, like I've been working a lot with our breakfast team, and a lot of my private life has been put on air, and I don't know, I kind of have just decided.
So?
Oh, they've just been using the fact that I'm single, like so it's a bit of a long story, but I'm on Tinder and Bumble, like not myself, but like a guy from work. He's put me on there for a segment.
Oh, goodness
And
me.
it's called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Replies. So like these creeps come up and he tries to lose them in 10 replies and like pretends to be me.
What sort of things does he say?
Oh, you know, just like trying to be me, like, hey, honey. And just like, it's like so bad. And guys like block him and stuff.
No kidding.
That's great.
It's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny, sorry.
But yeah, so basically it's basically making a mockery of my single life, and it's not getting me any close to getting a boyfriend, any closer.
Don't worry, I'm single too. Happens to the best of us.
Oh, yeah, look, I'm happy being single, but it would be nice to have someone in my life.
Well, you and I got a little spicy on radio.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, should we talk about that?
Well, maybe we should address the elephant in the room, yeah?
I don't think it's an elephant in the room. All right, let me tell the story.
Okay.
So, your radio station messaged me and said, hey, you want to come to a cool party?
Yeah.
Hey, who doesn't want to go to a cool party, right? So, and it was a cool party.
Yeah.
So I went along. There was a photographer there who got a photo of us.
Yes.
And that photo was sort of circulated, and they knew you were single, and of course they didn't know I was single at this time because I was with my wife, my TV wife.
Yeah. Heidi, we can say her name.
Right, okay, Heidi. And the show was, it was playing. Now, there was a few reasons why the world had to believe that she and I were together. And I agreed with those reasons because I didn't want the country to go, oh, well, hang on, he's fraternizing here with another girl. And I didn't want to be linked with you, unfortunately, for the story's sake.
Yeah.
Not that you're not a great woman. You're beautiful. You've got all the qualities, all the elements that any man would want, by the way. It surprises me that you're single.
Thanks,
but the fact that those guys kind of ran with that story, I know you guys need material. I know you're looking for a story.
It's not that we need material. It was just like, I suppose it was just like, for us, it was just a bit of a laugh.
A bit of fun.
And we weren't looking at it from your point of view and your emotional state either.
Well, ultimately, we did reach a nice agreement, a little conclusion on it, and we sort of shook hands.
Did we though?
Well, we did. No, we did. I think
we did.
But I will say this. Let me tell you something. I think I was underestimated as to, I think that there's a feeling that for someone that's a participant on a show like that just sort of has to lay down and kind of cop kicking from anyone that wants to make fun of them. You got the wrong guy on that one. I love a spirited debate, a free exchange of ideas between yourself and someone else. And if I feel like I'm in a position where I, should relent, I will. That wasn't one of those times. It didn't matter that there was three of you. I was always going to go there, and I didn't agree with it in the moment. And by the way, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd just gotten out of bed, and it was a big night on the show for me, and a bit emotional. And then suddenly I'm linked with you on this radio show, and I was just like, I'm not having this. I wasn't going to take a backward step, and I went Mike Gunner on them. So
yeah. Look, it was amazing.
No hard feelings, nothing personal.
Like, it was fun.
Good.
Yeah. And that's what it should be,
Well, it should be. And Bella, you can speak to this. Are we becoming too sensitive?
We? Like, as in who?
Society. Is society becoming too sensitive? Can you not speak your mind anymore? I mean, I'm direct.
Yeah.
Isn't that, I don't know. I thought that was a good way to be. You just tell it how it is. If someone has a problem with that, well, they put forward their argument and you consider that and then you reply. I don't know. That's all I'm ever doing.
It seems that someone's always going to get offended from something, though,
Yeah.
So
what's that about?
And in that case, it was you.
You got me.
Walked right into that one, mate.
Excuse me.
Next question.
Well, okay. You got me.
This is what happens when you get a pro on your show, okay?
Yeah. You've done this before, haven't you?
You've been waiting for this moment, haven't you? You've been...
No, I actually haven't. Hey, I'm just...
Well, hang on a second. Okay. In my defense, because I ain't given up on that. I'm not going to just let that slide.
Okay.
I'd copped a lot of stick to that point. A lot. Like,
yeah.
you think season 3 copped a lot of attention. You wait until the next one coming. Wow, it's going to be even bigger. So I was copping so much online,
and I said that to you that morning as well. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You did, to be fair, and it was a lot. So then I'm getting it from the... Oh, and by the way, I can't really respond online to the couple of thousand people going, we think you're a jerk. But I can respond to you guys because I got you on the phone.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, hang on, I don't agree with this. It felt to me like it was just, not being fair. And so I had to speak to that. And you know me. I mean, you should know me by now.
Well, now I do. But at the time, I was like, what the is this guy doing? But anyway.
Really? Were you a bit sad about it?
Oh, yeah, because I just didn't know how to take it. Like, it was just such a weird situation to be in, firstly.
Yeah, well, you guys are trying to laugh it off, and I'm like,
yeah, we
that's
were.
Going to cut it. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see how uncomfortable and awkward it was.
Oh, my God.
I was adding to that. I knew that it was one of those moments, and they're rare on radio, and I know this. I listen to commercial radio.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, commercial radio, let me not put too fine a point on this, but it's commercial radio. It's very light and fluffy. It doesn't go deep, really, does it? I mean, you have to. You got to make.
Sometimes it does, and when it does, that's when that's when I love it as well because it can go either way. But yeah, and it was funny because that morning I just happened to be filling in for Heather, who usually is there.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, it was interesting.
Well, we went a little deeper and it was good. I feel like we got, a bit of meat on the bone to chew on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
I think you kind of knew what you were doing a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I was 100% knew what I was doing. Yeah, I mean, look, and this is what I wanted to explain on the day. I think just because I was in that position, it felt like, there's this sense that I'm vulnerable and that I should just accept that, and that anyone can say what they like, with impunity. But that's not the case. I'm still a human being. And if somebody made a story up about you and sort of circulated that, you wouldn't like it. And I know that you all would feel that way. So it's like, well, hang on. Here's a taste. I'm not going to cop that, and I'm going to say something about it. And I thought I was well justified, and I knew that it wasn't going to be fun and fluffy by me, resisting what you were saying. But at the same time, I had a point to make, and I guess it turned a fun breakfast show into kind of a bit of a darker moment, which is. I was fine with that. That's something.
Breakfast shows are about light and shade as well.
Well,
though.
they are.
So,
yeah, are they?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And so, like, it was very interesting. Like, and it was definitely like a big learning curve, even for me. Like being in a situation like that, I was like, guys, wrap it up. But yeah, it's and that's the thing. Like, like I work in an industry where we come across different people every day.
Yeah.
So you just never know what you're going to get. Like I've interviewed a lot of people over the last couple of years, and sometimes I have an interview with someone and it goes for 10 minutes and I could talk longer, or sometimes I have an interview with someone for 30 seconds. I'm like, all right, thank you so much. See you later.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just kind of have to be prepared for anything. So,
sure.
Yeah, but it was very interesting radio.
Good. Well, you're welcome. See what I did there? No. Yeah. Look. No. And you. To be fair, and I must applaud you. You handled it quite well because I heard it back, and also your contemporaries, your other radio hosts there, they handled it very well too. And I thought we came to a very nice conclusion ultimately. But I thought, here's a shot across the bow to any other radio station out there, because at that time I was doing 3, 4, 5 radio station spots a day.
Overwhelming.
And exactly. And I felt like there was a theme here where it was like, pick on Mike and see what you can make him,
That's definitely not the angle we were coming from.
Well, I know that, but it was others' angles, I promise you. I mean, you hear some of these, the people were they had the gloves off every time. And I was kind of turning the other cheek. I've only got the 2 cheeks. And by the time I got to you, I was punch drunk, and I'm like, and you guys have made up this story about me. It's on. And so, I don't know. It was what the expression, an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. I mean, there was never going to be any winners, but we did find a way through, and I think we ended it quite respectfully. And now we're pals.
Yay!
This is great.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. So we've given away some sunnies. Here's a question we ask people. Everything cool over there, Andrew? We haven't heard much from you.
Yeah, no, I've just been chipping away over here, mate, pressing the dials, pushing the buttons. So, everything's going well over here.
Hey, listen, we should tell you something cool that we're doing. And actually, this has only just come up. We met, we'll give a little plug here. We met a lady who was up here from Sydney, and she's a radio host herself down in Bondi Radio in Sydney. Anyway, she came on the podcast and we chatted. Hasn't gone to air yet because they're going to use it on their radio spot. Anyway, we're going to do this thing where we're going to get bands in here and artists and whatnot and chat to them. And in fact, we're going to take the cameras and go to some events, some of their acts as they're performing and whatnot, cut these clips and then interview them. And
amazing.
How cool does that sound?
That's so fun.
Yeah, and they're going to put it on Bondi Radio and we're going to put it on our podcast.
That's so cool.
I know. Who knew where this little podcast would go? But this is something fun. I mean, you love music, right?
Yes, obviously.
Who's your favourite band?
I'm actually really loving Rufus at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw them. I've seen them a couple of times, but I was at Coachella recently.
Okay.
And in the States, and I saw them there, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
But like apart from that, I'm like a pretty commercial radio kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like Amy Sharks and.
I love Amy Shark.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of great things for the coast as well. I think. One thing I've been living up here for about 7 or 8 years, and to see the music scene develop, whether it be venues, whether it be artists coming out, it used to be like everyone would stop through Brisbane, skip the Goldie, go to Byron, continue down to Sydney. But now it's all changing, and she's done great things for the coast here. Absolutely phenomenal, promoting it and getting out there and supporting everyone. So
I caught up with her. I spoke to her yesterday actually.
Did you?
Yeah, because she played River Stage last night in Brisbane.
Okay.
So we just chatted about that, and obviously she's a Gold Coast girl, as Andrew just said. So yeah, she's cool.
Do you know, I saw her play down here at the Marquetta. That's a cool venue, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Marquetta.
Yeah.
Fan of that joint.
Yeah.
Good food too.
Yeah.
We saw her. It must have been about a year ago. She lit it up. Honestly, she was as good an act as I think I've ever seen. She's got such a cool style.
Yeah.
Great voice. She looks cute. She's cute as hell.
Yeah.
But the way she moves, and she owns that stage, and I'm a big fan of her.
Born
We
to
should
do
get her in here. Can you get her in here? Can you drop her word?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, possibly. Possibly. Excuse me.
I'll send her a message. I'm sure she'll be keen.
Would she be keen?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll send her a message now.
No, don't. Don't worry about it. Tell her I'm a big fan. And I am actually a big fan of her. So, we'd love to have her on. We're not doing this for free tickets or anything. I just think she's cool as hell. She reminds me of a little bit of a... do you ever remember an act called Peaches, a lady called Peaches?
Yes.
Okay.
Refresh my memory.
She was like a low-budget version of Lady Gaga. I know that she's going to hate it if she's hearing this.
I feel like there was a song called Peaches. Maybe I'm getting that confused.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You couldn't sing us a verse?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Anyway, but she was amazing. And the voice, like I feel like she should have gone on and done bigger. You ever know acts that you see them live and you think, oh my God, why are you not the biggest act in the world?
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah. And just some people were just so born to do it. Even like I see people on stage and talking to them, I'm like, I just take my hat off to them because it's a big deal to be able to do that.
I think that about Amy Shark. I saw her, as I said, in Marquetta, and I was just standing there going, this girl should be on every, the playlist of every radio station in the world. I mean, she's got such an appeal. Is she big overseas?
Yeah, she's doing really well. I'm pretty sure she's just about to go over and do another tour in the US. But yeah, like she's worked with like Travis Barker from Blink, and she's doing really well. Yeah,
if she doesn't blow up very soon, I'd be very surprised. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she, who knows what she wants from a career? I would think she wants, to get bigger and bigger as she goes, and she's definitely got what it takes for that.
Yeah.
Are you musical?
Really well.
You play a musical instrument?
No.
I have a guitar right there. You want to play something?
No, I can't play the guitar. I did play like the keyboard back in the day.
Is that right?
Yeah, when I was like really young, but no, I can't play guitar. Can you? Why is it there? Obviously,
it just looks cool. I can play guitar. It's out of tune.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Just give us a little strum.
Why did I do? Give us a little strum. This is
a little tickle, mate.
Oh, mate, do you know what? I'll tell you what. Next time you're in, I will tune that up and I'll play. Oh, God.
Yeah.
What am I doing? No.
Yes, this is
not
what, it's going to like this. It's going to happen.
I can play, but I get so nervous because there'd be heaps of musicians and guitarists that are going to go, this guy sucks. And that'd be in my mind the whole time.
I'm sure they wouldn't say that.
So here was a question. They would, trust me. Here's a question that we got. So we were just talking about music. If you got stuck in an elevator and you had to listen to one song, the damn thing was on repeat, what would it be?
Oh, God.
One song could be anything.
Oh,
you got 5 seconds to answer.
No.
And that is the song.
It's just only Rufus stuff is coming to my head right now because that's kind of currently what's on my playlist.
Okay, which tune?
I like Treat You Better. It's probably a bit too slow, but maybe
because you got to think you're going to be in this thing. You could be in this thing for 8 hours. Would you listen to that song for 8 hours?
Well, just 5 seconds isn't enough time for me to think.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the elevator stopped. You didn't get a choice. It's just started.
Oh God!
I'll help you out here by giving you a bit more extra time there.
Okay.
Well, when you think about it, like if you're stuck in an elevator, you got to think about the genre for sure. For starters, like you wouldn't want something too heavy hitting in there too, because although that sounds kind of cool. Something really heavy hitting with a big bass or something. And
can I play you a little bit
yourself.
of it?
Yeah,
what I think.
Yeah, go on. Why not?
It's not going to be the best acoustics, but
bit of an intro there.
Yeah. So this one.
Oh, I know this tune.
Rider. Yeah.
Hey, we should.
Yeah.
Let's get them on. Let's get Rufus on. Do you know them?
I don't know them.
I'll tell you what. Here's one for you. If we get the lead singer of Rufus on here, would you come in and chat to him with us?
I'd probably get a bit starstruck, but yeah, I'd come. Definitely.
Do you get starstruck?
Sometimes, like I'm pretty good now, but like I think like back in the day, I'm trying to remember like one of my first interviews was with Blue Juice. Do you remember Blue Juice?
I do remember those guys. Yeah, yeah, they were great.
They were like I was living down in Bega. Was my first radio gig, and they came in, and I just remember being like, "Oh my God, it's Blue Juice! Blue Juice is here!" And they were like in the studio with me. And they were so cool. They had like their sunnies on. They were just sitting back and telling me about like, this time they played on New Year's, and they couldn't hardly remember it because for whatever reason.
Sure.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, no. Look, now I'm pretty used to it. But I'm sure like there's definitely people that would walk into a room. I'd just be like, "Oh my God!" Like
that's how you felt about Andrew, wasn't it?
Yes.
This seems to be a bit of a common theme, isn't it? Like,
I'm trying to set him up here, Bella. I'm sorry, he's single.
So. I was like, oh my God, is that Andrew?
That's me. That's me. I'm the one staring down the other end of the table here. It is. It's becoming a common theme, isn't it? It's like no one's safe.
This is true. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. I haven't. Well, no, I have told my story about being starstruck. I met Kelly Slater. Yeah, I got big time because I'm a surfer and I got big time starstruck. I didn't even know what I said. I do know what I said. It was dumb. It's so dumb. I'm not going to repeat it.
What was he like?
Cool as hell. That's probably the hardest part. When you meet someone that's famous and they're really cool, you suddenly become uncool. If they're uncool, I think you can kind of go, oh well, they're uncool. But he was super easygoing, really nice guy, and you don't expect that. It's just, I don't know what you're expecting when you meet someone.
You just don't know what you expect, hey? And then
no, you don't. No, you don't. It's funny. I noticed that when people ask me for a picture, which they still do, I'm always really friendly to people. It doesn't matter who they are, what age. If I meet little children, I get down and give them a little handshake or a little pat on the shoulder or something.
They would love that.
They seem to. And people have said to me, "Oh gosh, you're actually really nice." And I'm like, "Oh, well."
Well, if you can make someone's day, I mean, that's something special, isn't it? So
yeah, I often make little videos for people. Yeah, they'll come up and say, "Oh, my wife or my husband loves you."
Yeah.
Give myself a rap there, but I get it, and I'm like, "Oh, really?" And if I got a bit of time, I'm like, "What's their name?" "Oh, Jimmy." "Okay, give us your phone." I jump on their phone, put on video, and they jump on the screen, and I make a little video for them. They love it.
And people like, love that.
Yeah, they do. That takes nothing, and people think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, next time you come back here, you're going to meet my girlfriend. You cool with that?
Yes, I'm so excited to meet her.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for her to be on this. We actually tried a little podcast with her a couple of weeks ago, but her voice was very hoarse. She had a cold, so she wasn't able to. You couldn't really blame her, but so this will be her first time. So she's going to meet you, and she's a big fan of you.
Oh, I can't wait to meet her.
She could be a little starstruck.
Oh, I doubt it. But anyway, looking forward to meeting her.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here because we've run a bit long. But so nice to have you on. Can you be a regular for us?
Yes, I would love to come back.
Really?
Yeah.
Unreal. We're going to get you in all the time.
Awesome.
Like 4 times a week.
Well, maybe if you start paying me, I'll come back. No, joke.
I'll just pay you. I'll pay you in coffee. Actually, for that, well, no one would have seen it, but as you came in walking down the hall before, I went to hug Bella and I bumped her brand new coffee out of her hand. It spilled all over the hallway.
I was enjoying that as well, but anyway,
rookie mistake. That was not a good start to the campaign. But
all
hey.
good.
thanks for joining us. Thanks to Bella, and thanks to this sunglasses brand. I am going to plug them. They're pretty good, Kuipers. And they seem really good quality too. Are they good quality?
Yeah, they are good quality.
Would you recommend them?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd recommend them as well. These ones, I'm not sure that these ones suit me.
No, they don't.
That's a no? Okay, but they would suit someone. They'd suit a guy. I'll tell you what, next show I'm gonna give these to a guy out there. A guy that's written in a message. I think someone will enjoy those.
Awesome.
Some funky young dude. He'll think they're cool.
Cute.
Hey, thanks for coming along. Thanks, Bella.
Thanks, mate.
See you guys next time.